Today we're going to make a trap beat efficiently and quickly. I'll show you how I start these always, and then once you've got your foundation, it's pretty easy from there. I'm using some sound fonts that I've gotten from the internet and just compiled up the quality ones here. If you want them, just comment below. I'll happily share these with you. I'm going to avoid any expensive plugins. We're going to be using some default stuff in FL Studio. I'll show you how to use hotkeys and tools to quickly and efficiently get your ideas out there. So first things first, I like to start off with a chord progression. Let's begin with C minor. We're just going to start there because it's an easy way to build from here and then transpose away. So I normally will go up and then down and then up and down in the chord progression. Get a nice epic evil sound. What I mean by that is we're going from C minor to F minor. And then we're going to go from F minor to B diminished. So we're going up and then down. We're going to drag this back. So what I just did there was I hit Control A, and I'm grabbing this little thing here, and you can see it just, smooths out the timing for me. I want it a little faster, so I'm also going to hit Control Q to make sure that everything's quantized into place after I did that. There's no weird start times or anything. All right, so I like that. Those first three chords are awesome. It's got that nice, dark, epic sound. I'm going to hit Control A and Control B again, and it's basically just copy-pasting. It's putting this in front of it again. I'm not going to use the same thing again, though. That's why I did it, or else I wouldn't have done that. I just want to change this up here and add a fourth chord, where you do a D diminished instead of B. So you see that nice, smooth, epic sound. It's a great foundation for a trap beat. It's dark. It's good to go. So we're gonna hit Alt S, and we're gonna give this some natural strum. I don't like that the strum is the same on every note, so I'm gonna just select every other note essentially. I'm just going to select the first ones of each bar. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to select them all again with Control A. I'm going to hit Alt G. I'm going to separate all these notes so I can play with them individually. The first one of each bar. So these guys. Then we're going to strum these out kind of slow. And these, I want these strummed as well, just not as slow. Oops, I grabbed the wrong note there. There we go. Drag that back a little bit, the strength here. So, some of the sustain on this chord here isn't very smooth at the end. It sounds very, very fake there. So, we're going to swap this sound out for something else. Let's try Baby Grand here. It's actually very nice. It's soft and kind of gritty and dark. It's cool. I want to stretch out these notes so that noise doesn't pause in between. It ends up sounding kind of abrupt. And I don't want it to sound fake, All right. Now, what we're going to do to give this sound font some life, we're going to put a little bit of reverb on here. I'm just going to use the default preset and play with it. We're going to turn down the bass. I don't want any bass in this at all. And we're going to increase the low cut. Nice soft little reverb. Let me turn down the dry a little bit. Keep it kind of soft and spacey almost. Maybe a little more decay. Give it some space. I'm going to pan this a little bit to the right too, just because I see it's a little hard left. It's a lefty. Okay. Another reason I pan that to the right is because I'm going to clone this. We're going to copy and paste right here. All right, now this is where it gets fun. So we're going to hit Control A. We're going to snap to a beat, Control Q. So quantize this all flat again. Bring it up an octave with Control Up arrow. Then Alt A for the arpeggiator tool. Now, before you hit Alt A, you do want to hit song/pattern mode. Make sure you're playing that so when you hit the space bar, as you're adjusting this, you can hear it. all I've done here is just crank the range up to 2. It's all normal. Time multiplier here will change the speed of that, so I can do a funkier one. Then it becomes kind of Spanish. I don't want that feel. I was liking this one here. The reason I like that is because I'm going to link that other one here. So I have 2 of the same piano patch on different channels playing different things. One's left and one's right. I'm going to stereo separate them both since they're a very kind of mono sound font. Giving it that life. Now what I want to do, gross beat. Not everyone has gross beat. Normally comes in the producer bundle of FL Studio, so if you don't have it, I suggest it. I just went to presets, momentary, half speed. You'll hear this all the time in popular trap beats. I'm going to put that over that fast piano, and it'll give it this cool layering sound. There we go. Now what I'm doing here is I just put a parametric EQ on that piano. Fruity parametric EQ comes with Fruity Loops. First preset is second preset 20 hertz, 18K hertz cut. I just drag this on down here. Make it nice and smooth. No bass in that whatsoever because, of course, we are going to fill that bass with the 808 later on. I'm going to drag that over. You can just save preset as and drag that over to this one, and it'll copy that exact preset you just used over to the other one, and I'm going to drag it over here. Make sure your EQs are at the bottom of your effect chain, cutting that bass out completely. One final trick to give this some more life. This is another free VST. It's isotope vinyl. And what I like to do with it is, it's a vinyl effect, right? There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. The warp depth is my favorite, though, because you can get a little detune with this. I'm going to change the year to 1940. And you can hopefully hear that slight detune. You don't want much. Nice. Beautiful. We're going to give this some more rhythm by going into the chord part here. We'll just chop some of these notes up. So I grabbed my slice tool, and I'm going to hold the shift key while I slice, so I'm always on beat to whatever beat I'm snapped to. I'm actually going to change to a half a beat here. Give this some fun. I don't want that much syncopation there. Maybe let this one rock up a little higher. See, this is just where you get creative, right? So I did this variation of this rhythm here where I went up to the C note instead, and in my head I heard a dun 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 dun. I heard that in my head, so we're going to try that out. Beautiful. Love it. So there we go. Now we've got a nice atmospheric vibe going here. It's got a good rhythm. It sounds natural, believable. The only thing else I would do is maybe change the velocity on some of these notes. I want those extra notes to be a little softer. All right, cool. So now in my head, I maybe hear some strings, maybe some choir. You know, there's a million things you could add from here. It's all creativity with the sound choice. You don't even have to start with piano, of course, with trap beats. You can start with whatever you'd like. But I always like to build it with a nice chord progression first, and you can see how that helped bring the melody to life, especially with your arpeggio tools and all the cool tools they give you in FL Studio. We're off to a great start. So I'm thinking maybe some strings. I have some strings, beautiful, lyrical. I'm thinking one of those, a real long, drawn out note that's high, that sinks in, real emotional. Probably that C. That C note's going to be the first big, beautiful note to come through here. The way we're going to do that is we're going to have our sound font here of strings. It's obviously way too loud and not smooth at all. So we're going to add another note here. It's the same note. It's a C. And but it's a slide. We're not going to slide the pitch. We're just going to slide this velocity. So the first note's completely silent, sliding into a note that has velocity. Nice and smooth. Again, we're going up, down, up. Gonna give it that same rhythm here. We're gonna do the same thing to this note. I might even do like a short-term fade in here for these as well. Okay, no, that does not sound good. Gotta try it, you know. Okay, we don't need that one to fade in that slow either. Just the first note, really. That's really what I wanted, was the high note. That sounds way better. Let's do a descent instead of doing our regular progression here. So let's go. Gonna look at the old chord progression for reference here. U, F, G sharp, B, F is gonna be the one. So we can go even farther and just keep giving this a progression. It's gonna sound really big and natural, like some natural titties. We're just going to copy paste this down an octave. See how that sounds. We'll end it like this. I feel like these notes are quite a bit louder than the one that fades in, so we're going to bring these down a little bit. Stereo separate this as well. And you know, I also want to give this the EQ. I might even put the vinyl on this one as well. Definitely the reverb. Beautiful. One more layer should do it for now. We're going to keep it nice and simple. I don't want to spend too much time. Like I said, I wanted to make it quick and efficient. That's the whole point. So let's do some choirs. I think that'll fit nice. Maybe not those. That's a nice atmospheric choir. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the two main chords here. That's pretty much going to be it for our choir. Nice and simple. We're going to quantize these out. A nice little thing you can do here is you can do Alt-L, and it'll articulate the notes out to the end of the bar or whatever. And then boom. So we just cleaned those up to flat chords here. That's actually nice there. So what we're going to do is just C, B diminished, C. What we're going to do here is use Effector to give this a little fade, a little dynamic. It's on its own. It's just kind of static. Sounds great. It's very real. I'm going to pan it to the right a little bit because it's kind of hard left. And with Effector, we're going to turn off bypass here. We're going to use the trancer. It's going to give it some bounce here. You can choose it however you want. I think I'm going to go with like a slower one. I want it to have that fade. All right. So we've got a good start here. We're just going to make a progression now. So we're going to start off with the piano. That's the whole vibe here. What I'm doing is I'm just going to hit this, paintbrush it out. Could have done that way more efficiently, but fuck it. Start like that. Maybe bring the choir in here. Yep, I like that. We can totally drop it here. Let the drums come in here. And have the strings come in later. We could even add another layer, perhaps. Yeah, let's put some brass in here. I'm going to show you one more free plugin that I really like. It's called TPS Module. It's got some awesome realistic brass in there. The first preset they give you when you load up the plugin is really good, actually. So we're just going to use that as one of the layers, but we're going to add 2 layers of brass here. And we're basically just going to copy these notes in the progression here. Oh, how I did that was I just selected them, Control C, go over here, piano roll, Control V, Alt L to articulate them out. There's our brass. Let's hear how it sounds. We're gonna have to bring it down an octave. Even more. I don't need those notes. Just the main ones here. So we're going to clone that. And we're going to get our other brass here. I think it's this one. Yeah. I like the layers here. 2 octaves on those. I'm going to pan them. Put them over here. One's obviously louder than the other. There we go. It's already a little repetitive. This one especially, because of the way it fades. There we go. That's a lot better. We're going to give this a big old honkin' reverb. No bass, no bass. So yeah, on this second one, that was a happy accident when I clicked that note. On the second pattern here, we can add some variety. Takes up too much of the space. I'm gonna leave it as is. We're gonna add one more layer because I feel like when we transition out of that brass section, it's gonna feel a little empty. So I'm gonna add something to kind of fill its place later. And we're gonna use bells, big tubular bell. It's like a church bell kind of. You'll hear these a lot in trap music. I don't even want it to be that much. Just a few notes. Just these couple notes. Oh yeah, when you're touching the playlist while gross beat is going, it'll fuck your sequence up, but whatever. You pretty much do anything while gross beat's running as you're listening to a song, it's gonna fuck you up. I just put reverb on that bell. We're gonna EQ the bass out of the bell, as well as the horns here. Oh, I just doubled up on the reverb. My bad. I meant to. There we go. I don't even want these many horn hits now. It's too much. That's better. Yeah, that progresses nice. I'm gonna put a big bell right before that to lead in. Okay, cool. Did I EQ the bass out of that? Not at the end of the sequence, I didn't. Okay. Alright, now let's do the real fun part, which is the drums. So I'm just going to start off nice and simple. I've already got my good drum sounds picked out here. Again, if you want these sounds, just comment below. I'll hook you up. We're going to start off with a clap and give us some rhythm. Maybe try this clap. Pitch it down a little bit. Now I can turn it up for you guys here. Just throw in some hi-hats. Get a little rhythm going. Open hi-hat here. Do a little fast hi-hat roll. We're going to switch to the piano roll on the hi-hats here. Go snap to half a step. Actually, I don't even want that open hi-hat there. We can just do a couple little normal hits here. Give it that tension. We're going to do a little fun thing. We're going to pan these little rolls. One left, one right, just a little bit. I might not even keep that in there before the drop. Might just completely take that out. Ooh, that cut's nice. With the little half speed over top, that's nice. So yeah, we're going to leave that like it is. So here's our main little percussion run. Start off with a big kick drum. There's a nice little pattern. Let's copy that onto an 808. Got a big fuzzy 808 here. We're going to Control A, select them all, then articulate those notes out. And what do you know? They're already in the right key because we're in the key of C minor. Oops. There we go. That last note got fucky. We're going to put it down an octave. Oh, never mind. We don't need to. Okay, so obviously this is not the bass line I'm going for. That's a little closer to what I'm looking for. Let this one ring out with the, we're gonna let this progress. So starts off kind of tight here. Opens up with the brass here. Nice little syncopation here. We can add a little octave bump here. Maybe bring this one up. That D5. Kick drum's a little hot. I've got it cranked up. So what we're going to do is put them on a mixer channel here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. The important thing you have to do with your kick drum here is you want to side chain it to your 808. So have your track selected with your kick. Boom. Link it. Then we're going to go to our limiter, fruity limiter on the 808 channel. I have a preset for my kick. But you just want to play around with your threshold, your knee, and your ratio. Make sure the side chain is set to 1. Now that kick comes right through without hurting anybody's feelings. One thing you want to avoid is having your kick drums like completely line up with the bass line, so we're gonna fix that. It's better. That's better. All right, so now we can add some cymbals and stuff. So we're gonna start with just a big crash cymbal here. We're going to turn these down, too. I don't want it to be too loud. I got 4 cymbals. I'm probably going to use them all for a big beat like this. Maybe not. We'll just start off with the one. We're not going to use that one, though. That's better. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I want to bring this choir over here again. It's got some good pacing going for it. I'm not sure about the horns, really. That might be sometimes less is more, you know? Got that nice subtle sound to it. It's clean. Yeah, I think it's better off without the horns. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But that's an important lesson in making beats, though. Knowing when to remove something doesn't really have its place. See, that's nice. That transition's nice. That all fits. As you can see, we've pretty much got the beat done. We could add a lot more percussion detail. We could even throw some loops in there. I'll show you how I do that. That's something that's really fun to play around with. Whenever you're not sure where to take a beat, adding some loops and some percussion always helps. I've got a nice collection of loops here. One that's really common, I think you can get on Reddit, is the cymatics loops. A lot of these are meant for like house music and stuff, but they're really detailed and you can just play with them. So let's grab one. There, that one sounds nice and clean and metric. Let's stretch it out. So we're going to use the time stretch here and just eyeball it to 4 bars. Reset the pitch. Sounds dope. We're going to give it some dynamic here with gross beat. So we're going to go into gross beat again, and we're going to use the volume slot this time. We can just set this to default. And we can use the volume slot here to actually, let me try something. Let's go back to the momentary. Try the drum loop. Not a fan. Okay. Basically, we're just going to have it like syncopate on and off. Yeah, let's give it some more space here. I think it's a nice way to implement that. We'll make sure we cut all the bass out of this too. I don't want that in the whole time though, just here when it really evolves. percussion kind of sticks out there. It's a little loud. It'd probably be better to have this running from the beginning, honestly. All right, now what I want to do is add some impact to this little break here. What we're going to do is we're going to cut from here. I just held shift and right clicked. Cut here as well. All right, we're going to make this unique. I basically just removed everything but the 808 at that point. We're gonna make this even cooler by panning these 808 notes here. You can even make this slide down, perhaps. That's way better to have it cut like that. Just like that's fine. Just like that. Control A, Control B. What we're going to do is we're going to repeat the strings here, but not the high octave, just the low octave again. See if it repeats here too. It sounds nice. Great. All right. Again, and that less is more. So during the break here, we've got, you know, the choir, the strings, the piano, the percussion all going. But when it drops, it's just that piano and that percussion. That's it. That's hard to me. That's good stuff. So the last thing, the finishing touch, is the one expensive plugin that I have, Isotope Ozone. Slap that boy on there, make it fat, make it tasty. I have a preset that I've saved. I don't want to give away the sauce. One last thing. Get that little fucking bell note out of there. It messes up that transition. But there you go, guys. Hard-ass trap beat, about 30 minutes.